some more details coming in from Pragyan rover, which is continuing its experiments. Remember, the Pragyan rover is doing these in situ experiments on the lunar surface. First results of the Chandrayaan-3 are out. The first experiment results are out. And what we can tell you is that the rover has found moon temperature to be varying around 40 degrees Celsius to about minus 10 degree below the surface. So above the surface around 50 degrees Celsius and minus 10 degree below the surface. That is what is the first results which have come out of the Chandrayaan-3. And remember, Chandrayaan-3 is conducting multiple experiments on the lunar surface. One of the experiments is conducting is also to check how the lunar soil is composed, and then multiple other experiments. Now, this is an experiment about the temperature of the moon, and that has finally come out, viewers, and we have got you all the details coming in on this. So what we can tell you, viewers, right now is that the Pragyan rover has continued its experiments on the lunar surface, and the latest update has come in from the rover. So the first observations from the payload onboard Vikram lander have come in. Now what we see is that the lunar topsoil's temperature has been checked. The temperature probe, equipped with a controlled penetration mechanism capable of reaching a depth of 10 centimeters beneath the surface. The probe is fitted with 10 individual temperature sensors. So the temperature sensors on the probe have got us this data that you see on your screen right now, which says that the moon's temperature is varying around 50 degrees Celsius above surface to minus 10 degrees below the surface. And I'm being joined right now by our guests who are joining us with us on Republic TV. Srijan Pal Singh, senior scientist, joining us, and Group Captain V.N. Jha joining us, senior scientist, former joint director of DRDO as well. Thank you for joining us on Republic TV. Both the gentlemen who's joining us right now, and both are scientists, which is great because now you gentlemen can put forward for our viewers what this really means. I just want to go across first to Group Captain V.N. Jha first for a quick reaction on why this experiments results are important for the scientific community.
Look, we must be very clear about two things. That till now, whatever we knew about the lunar surface, whether it was the soil there or the elements within there, every story has been told us by US or the erstwhile USSR or the Chinese. They have told us the story that in and around the equator that they had landed earlier, the temperature ranges from minus 233 degrees Celsius in the night, in the daytime temperature of about 123 degrees Celsius or so. This is the story told to us by them. It must be right, because in and around equator, the sunlight is the most intense, and in the daytime, in the afternoon, the so-called afternoon of the lunar day, temperature might go to that thing. That is not likely to be the case in the South Pole. At South Pole, the sun rays are coming at a slant. The temperature may not be in that vicinity in the daytime, that midday temperature that they are claiming of about 123 degrees Celsius plus. So that may not be the story in the South Pole. In addition, also US and the entire three nations, they have told us that in and around the place that they have landed, I'm talking mostly in and around the equator. These are the places where a lot of impacts of the, whether it is the meteorites, asteroids, comets, celestial body, extra-lunar celestial body, they have impacted that area. That those regolith, the soil, contains mostly the oxygen. They have found some 43%, silica 20%, 19% magnesium, iron about 10% or so, calcium 3%, aluminum 3%, chromium, titanium, manganese, all these small amounts they have found out. That is what they have told us, that they had done the analysis earlier. They have also told us that at the surface, there are wandering molecules, charged particles of the plasma molecules that they have found. It is mostly neon, helium, argon, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, some methane, some trace elements of the water vapor. This is what they have told us. now. Our Chandrayaan-3 is in the South
Right.
Pole, where these impacts have not happened. What we are going to experience is the original data of the South Pole that may be different from what the Americans had done the study earlier. So don't be surprised. Like this, many other data will come. We need not react to every data because the two data, there could be some small error also. Between 10 centimeters, I don't expect to see, say, a temperature difference of, something like 30 degrees or so within 10 centimeters at the same time. It is unlikely. So we should take it with a pinch of salt. Let more data come, and that is going to tell us the story in the subsequent year. There is absolutely no reason to overreact to any such data.
Right, absolutely. I just want to take this question across to Srijan Pal Singh as well, senior scientist joining us on Republic TV. And Srijan Pal Singh, if you could tell our viewers about this experiment, especially the data being analyzed, and Group Captain V.N. Jha explained that to us. But will the scientific community, not just in India, but all across the world, be looking at this data? Because this is the first time that a country, India, that too has landed on the south pole of the moon. So this is very special because this area has not been explored as much as, let's say, the other areas of the moon.
Absolutely. I think the scientific community across the world is very, very interested and hooked onto this data because this is the first time data from the southern pole, the southern polar area, the south pole where we have landed is coming. Nobody has that data. Only India has generated that data. And I'm so happy that ISRO has publicly shared that data. That is the spirit of India. I always keep saying that ISRO is an organization which is for Jagat Kalyan. It's for the good of the world. So openly we are sharing data which is coming out in real time from the moon solar southern polar region. It's just a hallmark of how we stand. Our space mission stands for global good. That's what the Prime Minister said at BRICS as well. It's a public mission. It's everyone's mission. It's a humanities mission. It's a very interesting data because if you look at it, and you remember that the lunar day is 14 days, 14 Earth days. We are only about the third day, so which is like morning 8 o'clock in India or on Earth. So it's still heating up. The moon will keep heating up. You can see the temperature variations will actually go up as we measure this over days. But even then, even at the early morning hour of moon, what you see is a temperature variation of 60 degrees at a distance of about less than 10 centimeters, 8 centimeters, this much. This much you dig in the lunar soil, and the temperature is going from about 50 degrees to minus 10 degrees. Imagine if you could go further. Now, our ability right now is to go up to 10 centimeters only. But in future missions, if somebody could dig deeper, you could actually land up in temperatures which are extremely cold. And that is a great news because it means that even during daytime, the southern polar area of moon, if you dig maybe 50 centimeters, you will find temperatures which are extremely low. And they would have remained low for billions of years, which means you will find frozen particles there. You might have signatures of Earth there. You may have frozen water there, or so many things which Professor Jha was talking about, or helium-3 there. So I think it's a fantastic news. It's just a beginning. Let's wait. Let the sun rise in the lunar horizon, which will be about a week from today, when the sun will be at its best on the lunar surface. The heat will go up. So we'll have even more results, but it's astounding that we are doing this. And I'm so excited that India has written its own unique chapter in the global space book.